What up? Let's talk about Rui Hachimura, a player that I once used to admire a great amount. I mean, that sounds bad. It's not like I don't admire him anymore. I mean, he just used to be on the Wizards, so, Wizards fan, loved Rui. And then we traded him for Kendrick Nunn and 3 second-round picks, which, clearly Kendrick Nunn did not pan out for us because he's not even in the league anymore. Kendrick Nunn had a very sloped trajectory in his career, going from, almost being rookie of the year as an undrafted player to, just pretty much declining in production, throughout his, 4 or 5 years in the league. I don't even know if he made it 5 years. But, he might be back, so who knows. But this is about Rui. So the thing I wonder about Rui is, has he hit his ceiling? Because Rui has basically been the same player since he got into the league. And he's just, a little streaky. He, hits threes here and there, and then sometimes he has games where he doesn't hit anything. And, last year with the Lakers, he improved, his percentages. He shot, better than he did the year prior, but it wasn't his career high in terms of three-point percentage, but he shot 42%, so that's pretty good. But when you're playing with LeBron James and D'Angelo Russell, you're probably going to get some good open looks, and, you got to capitalize on them. Especially if you're playing with LeBron, like, he's not going to tolerate that you're missing it, so Rui had to be in check. And he shot 54% from the field, so these are good numbers. But, it seems like he can't really play true starters minutes. And he doesn't do much else besides score. He's not the best passer. He, has never averaged more than 2 assists a game in a season. He's never averaged more than 1.8. He's never averaged 2 assists, period, in a game or in a season. He doesn't really play great defense. So I'm kind of like, has he hit his peak? He's 26 years old. When's he going to turn 27? He's going to turn 27 in February. So I don't really know. I don't know. And I just, in the video where I was talking about the Lakers and then, basically what are they going to do or what are they going to look like 5 years from now? I don't think Rui is going to be part of the team. I think back then when they traded for Rui, they're like, oh, wow, this is a steal. Which, granted, it kind of was a steal in terms of a trade, but, I thought that they kind of thought that Rui had, much higher level potential. But it doesn't really seem like he has that. He can't really play the three, so he's kind of just like a stretch four. He doesn't get you a ton of rebounds. His career high in rebounds came his, rookie year in D.C. He was averaging 6 rebounds a game. And, I don't really know what his ceiling is. But I remember back, during the draft process, people were like, oh, this is the Japanese Carmelo Anthony. And I was like, they make Carmelo Anthonys in Japan? I didn't know that. And, and I kind of saw him play at Gonzaga a little bit. He was good. He was a really good player. But, and don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he's like a bust or anything like that. He's definitely not a bust. But a lot of people thought Rui kind of had superstar potential. And, maybe he still does, but, he's never averaged more than 14 points a game. And, I feel like, he's going into his 6th season in the league. So, at this point, I would have thought we would have saw him at least hit 18 and a half points per game in a season. Because to be an elite scorer in the league, you got to put up at least 20 points a game. And, if you really want to be cream of the crop, elite scorers, you really got to be putting up 25 a game. So, if LeBron and AD weren't on the team and this was more of, Rui had more minutes and more room to run and more room to have the ball on offense, would it be different? I honestly don't really think so. Because it just doesn't seem like that's what's going to happen. And, I don't know, man. I mean, I really like Rui. I think he's a good player, but he's got to add some other stuff to his game if he's not going to improve his scoring. Because if he was really just like that microwave off the bench, he could have real like six man of the year potential. Coming off the bench, playing 28 minutes a game, averaging 15, 16 points a game. That could be a perennial six man of the year winner, right? But he's not that, and he's kind of still a tweener. He doesn't really have a true position. And, I'm just wondering what's going to happen, because I do think he's good. I think he has potential. But, this could be his peak. He might just be one of those guys that averages, 13, let's say 10 to 15 points per game, consistently for their entire NBA career. Plays 12 to 15 years in the league, right? He'll always be a solid role player, but will he be more than that? I used to think, yeah, he'll be more than that, but now I'm kind of like, no, I don't think he's going to be more than what he is now. And again, not a bad thing. I just am expressing my opinion on how, when the Wizards drafted him, I was like, okay, this guy's going to be elite. And after his rookie year, I was like, yeah, like he put up 13 and a half points per game in his rookie year. Like this guy's going to jump up a lot next year. And then the next year, he really was kind of like basically exactly the same. He improved his scoring by 0.3 points per game, right? And he played only one more minute per game, but, you would have expected a bigger improvement. And, he improved his percentages in year two as opposed to his first year in the league, but his free throw percentage went down. He was getting less rebounds, less assists. It's just you would expect a top 10 pick who has that good of a rookie season to really pop off the next year. And we just haven't seen it. And, the year after that, his production went down even further, and that I think some of that has to do with, kind of the log jam that the Wizards had at the forward spot. We had Denny Avdia, we had Rui, we had Kuzma, we had a lot of different guys who can play the three or the four that were getting minutes ahead of him. But at the end of the day, it's like, Rui, we drafted you, high in the draft. You guys show us that you deserve these minutes. So if you're not proving it in practice, especially on a rebuilding team, that you deserve these minutes, how are you going to really improve and set yourself aside on a team that's more established like the LA Lakers, right? So I don't know where he's going to go next. I don't see him like finishing his career on the Lakers, but I'm very interested to see how his career, goes from here. I don't think he's really going to improve. Maybe it'll be a very small fractional improvement. And I hope he doesn't decline, but it's going to be interesting, But at this point in time, I'm more okay with the trade that we made, to trade away Rui. I'm more okay with it now than I was back then, because I really did think that, okay, this is when he starts to shine, because we weren't playing him in DC. But it's been, more of the same in LA. So you guys let me know what you think. Do you think Rui Hachimura still has star potential? Could he be the next franchise player for the Lakers? I'd love to know what you guys think, because as much as I love Rui, I don't think he's getting any better from here. So you guys let me know. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and let me know what you guys want me to talk about next. This whole YouTube thing is supposed to be so that I can engage with you guys and, talk about basketball and talk about things that you guys want to hear about. So let me hear it. Send me your comments, send me DMs, send me all that. Love to hear from you guys. Peace.